All right, so we will go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is our second virtual open house, but it was really important for us to have another one of these because the plans have changed a little bit since we were in person in the fall for those few days. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So when we return, which will be on Monday, we are returning on an A-B schedule. So that means that the board approved last week that your child would come back if you chose the in-person option. They would come back 2 days a week. So if your child is an A student, they will come to school on Monday and Tuesday. B students will report on Thursday and Friday. Wednesday will be an NTI day, for all in-person students. So a typical week for your child, they will be in person 2 days, and those other 3 days, they will be working from home virtually. When they are at home, their assignments will be found in Google Classroom. So they will log on just like they have been. They will locate their assignments for the day, and they will either be in Google Classroom or School's PLP, but the link will be in their Google Classroom for that. A couple things to note here. On Wednesday, this will no longer be a special class day. This will be a regular online learning day. So your child will receive a special class while they're here on their 2 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they will work in their Google Classroom. On those days, teachers will not be hosting a live teaching session because they will get that live teaching when they are in person. You may have a teacher or an assistant contact you about setting up a one-on-one Zoom or a small group Zoom, but as far as whole class teaching, that will not take place on those 3 days that your child is learning virtually. So it's also important to note that this rotation was generated through Infinite Campus, and it was based on households and class sizes. So the Healthy at School guidelines are now mandates. So it is a requirement for us to keep everyone at a minimum of 6 feet apart. And if we have 100% of our students here at school, we can't do that. We can't ensure that they would be 6 feet apart at all times. So that's why we're on this rotation. With the rotation, all students in the same household will be on the same day. So if you have a Clearfield child, a child who attends the middle school, and a child who attends the high school, they will all 3 be assigned that same day. If you have an extenuating circumstance and you are requesting or would like to request that you change your day. So for example, if I received a call that I was on A, but I need to be on B, you need to contact the office no later than Friday at noon. So no later than Friday at noon, you need to contact the office and you will speak with myself or you will speak with Miss Marissa. And we need to know what extenuating circumstance you have and why we need to switch you. We cannot guarantee that we will be able to make all changes. And that, again, that simply goes back to class sizes. We can't have in one class 10 students in that classroom on A days, but only 2 students in that class on B days. So there are a lot of factors that have gone into creating that A-B schedule. So again, we will do everything we can to accommodate you, but that will not be guaranteed. And then if you have chosen virtual learning for your child, they will continue with School's PLP with their Arcola teacher. So that your Arcola, if you were in Arcola before, you will follow that same schedule. Nothing will change with that. So again, what does that look like? If you commit to in-person, which you have already made your decision by now, you're going to attend school on 2 days. So group A, again, will be Monday, Tuesday. B will be Thursday, Friday. This option is available for 9 weeks, but if you feel the need to pull your student from in-person to virtual learning, you may do that. We will open our doors at 7:20. And students cannot be dropped off until this time. And our classes will begin at 8 o'clock. And our last dismissal will be at 3:30. Again, these times are subject to change, especially those first few days. Please remember to be flexible and offer us a little bit of grace when it comes to busing in the afternoon, because we will do everything we can to get your students home as quickly as possible. But we know those first few days sometimes take a little bit longer. So what are the morning procedures? And these procedures are the same as what they were in the fall when we did attend for those few days. We'll be using the 3 entrances again, the side entrance for buses, back doors for parent drop-offs, and front doors for parent drop-offs. If you ride a bus, you have already had your temperature checked before you got on the bus, so you will not have to have it checked again when you enter this school. Back door and front door drop off. Your temperature will be checked before you get out of your vehicle. If your temperature is below 100.4, then you will be ready to attend school. When you get out of your car, if you are a front door drop off, you will pick up your breakfast right in front of the library and you will take it to your classroom to eat. And if you're a back door drop off, you will pick up your breakfast in the cafeteria and you will also take that to your classroom. It's really important that all students eat breakfast prior to school beginning. So if you're a drop off, we ask that you drop your child off by 7:50, so that way they have plenty of time to eat their breakfast and go to the restroom if they need to and be ready to begin their day at 8 o'clock. With us only having 2 days with our students in person, it's really important for us to maximize every moment that we have together. So what does classroom instruction look like? So on the 2 days that your child is here, they will receive direct instruction from their teacher. The other 3 days, they will work on virtual learning. And this is, like we said earlier, this will be through Google Classroom, schools PLP, and all that. They will use their Clever badge to log in. In-person learning days will not be used as time to make up work that was not completed. So if your child did not complete their work from those 3 virtual days, they will not be given time on their 2 in-person days to complete that work. Again, we're only with them for a short amount of time, and it's really important for us to maximize that time and then be with their teacher. So they will not be given time to make up those assignments. Just like before, students will have frequent movement breaks and mask breaks throughout the day. When students have mask breaks, they will be 6 feet apart at all times, and that is outside. They will always be 6 feet apart. So classrooms, what do they look like? Again, our desks are arranged to maximize spacing. So students are at a minimum of 6 feet apart. Again, the dress code states that everyone must wear a mask unless there's a documented health condition from a physician on file. And if a child forgets their mask, that's okay. We will provide them with a mask before they enter the building. And seating charts will be required, and students will stay in their assigned seats for each class each day. Teachers will maintain this record, and then I will also have a copy of that. And again, that's just for contact tracing purposes. For going to the restroom, we'll have multiple restroom breaks scheduled throughout the day. So every classroom will have ample amount of time to go to the restroom. If your child needs to go to the restroom at a time that's not their scheduled bathroom break, we will accommodate that and they will be able to go. So that is not an issue at all. They will wear their mask while they're in the restroom, and they will wash their hands before leaving the restroom. Water fountains will not be available for student use. Adults will refill student water bottles as needed. So we are encouraging students to bring their own water bottles, and if they need to be refilled, a staff member will take care of that for them. Procedures for the hallway, again, they'll wear their mask, and they will also not stop and congregate. So traffic will stay moving until they get to their destination. For lunch, we're really limiting non-essential visitors within the school. So food drop-off during the school day will not be permitted. Students may still bring a lunchbox. That's perfectly fine, but lunch cannot be dropped off to students or staff members. Lunch will be adjusted to allow for social distancing and sanitation of tables between lunch periods. So some students will eat in the cafeteria, and some students will also eat at tables set up in the gym, so we can ensure that that social distancing is taking place. We have hand sanitizer stations available throughout the building. Seating charts will be kept in the cafeteria and the gym, just like they are in the classroom. And again, students may not congregate during lunch. We have to maintain that social distancing. For related arts or specials classes that may be what they're familiar with, so that's art, library, music, and PE, they will report to their homeroom for these content areas. So your child will stay in their homeroom and the related arts teacher will come to them. And again, that goes back to contact tracing, and we want students limiting the number of people and things that they come in contact with. So for recess breaks, students will have scheduled movement breaks in specified locations. The playground equipment will not be used until further notice, and all shared equipment will be sanitized and disinfected after each use. And then the procedures for dismissal. Upon release, students must exit the building. They cannot congregate in the hallways. Pickups will begin at 3:15. And something that's really, really, really important that we do ask that parents do, if you are picking up your child, please come at your designated time. So we have a 3:15 pickup and we have a 3:30 pickup at the front door and the back door. If you signed up for the 3:15 pickup, it is crucial that you arrive during that time. If you are a 3:30 pickup, it's really, really, really important that you wait until that time as well. And that just, again, that keeps traffic flow, it keeps traffic off the road, and it just makes sure that we can get everybody to their car as quickly, efficiently, and as safely as possible. And then aftercare will not be offered at any elementary school for this school year. Again, just to reiterate, wearing the mask, that is now a mandate and not just a suggestion. So kindergarten through 12th grade students will wear a mask at all times. If they don't have one will be provided. And we do encourage that you send an extra mask with your child. We know sometimes they get lost, sometimes they get broken, something gets spilt on them. So we do ask that they have an extra mask in their backpack. If your child feels sick, they will report it to the teacher who will follow the protocol for sending the student to the nurse. If a student tests positive for COVID-19, the Rowan County Health Department is responsible for the contact tracing. So you will hear from the health department or the Rowan County Schools nurse to let you know. Also, just a reminder, now that school is back in session in January and we are back from Christmas break, if you or your child test positive or if you are quarantined, please call our health officer and let them know. And our health officer at Clearfield Elementary is Miss Marissa. So you will just call and let her know. And that's simply due to the fact that we have to report our numbers. So she turns in numbers daily, and we want to keep those numbers as accurate as possible. And if you decide, can you switch from full-time to in-person? Yes, you may switch if you feel that is the best decision for you and for your family. Just a few other things that we do want to mention for in-person learning. If your child receives any related services, so this would be speech, special education, RTI, those services will be provided to your child when they are in person. So if I'm an A child and I'm here Monday and Tuesday, we are going to provide those services on Monday and Tuesday. If services need to be provided on virtual learning days, they will be done through Zoom. So again, students will only be in the building on their assigned days for contact tracing purposes. So if we do need to schedule some type of related service, then that will be done online. Lunch pickup will be a little bit different. So lunch pickup will take place at Tilden Hogg Elementary and McBrayer Elementary on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that's from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, there will not be lunch pickup at CES. You will have to go to Tilden Hogg or to McBrayer. On Wednesdays, since there are no children in the building those days, on Wednesdays, lunch pickup will be at all elementary schools and Round County Middle School from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, which is what we're doing now. So Wednesday will be the same lunch schedule that we are operating on now. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday will be at Tilden Hogg or McBrayer Elementary from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. One question that we have received so far is about Chromebooks. So if they have the Chromebook checked out from CES or if they have their own personal laptop, should they bring those back and forth? Should they bring those to school? Should they keep those at home? We are recommending that your child brings those back and forth. So that way, if they do need it here at school, they will have their own Chromebook that they have been using, that they're already logged into. However, it is not a requirement. If you would prefer your child leave the Chromebook at home or leave their laptop at home, that is perfectly acceptable. And we will have one here for them to use, because we also understand that each family has one Chromebook, so every sibling won't have access to that during the day anyway, and that's perfectly fine. If they need a Chromebook, we will make sure that we provide them with one when they were here if they didn't bring their own or if their sibling has their Chromebook. Snow days. So on snow days, learning will still continue. If this occurs, your child will log into their Google Classroom by 9 a.m. to locate their assignments for the day. So if I'm a B student and we have a snow day on Thursday and I'm supposed to come to school on Thursday, but they've canceled. So I'm going to go to my Google Classroom by 9 o'clock and I'm going to check for my assignments. That's where your teacher will have them posted. That's where your teacher will also post if they are going to do a live session or if you would just have your Google Classroom assignments and school's PLP assignments for that day. I do want to take just a couple minutes to hit on virtual learning and to recap that, because I do know we have some new students at Clearfield Elementary and some of those students have chosen the virtual learning. So I want to make sure that you understand what that option looks like and answer any questions that you may have about that as well. So state mandated tests, yes, you will be required to take those. So that would be MAP testing and K-Prep for elementary age students. Devices, you are asked to have a Chromebook, you're asked to have internet, and then you must be able to access your school email and your Google account through Clever. So all students have their Clever badge. If you do not have a Clever badge, if you misplace your Clever badge, you will just call the office and we will print you another one and we will arrange pickup for that. Your device should have an active microphone and video capabilities for online meetings with your teacher facilitator. So if they schedule Zoom meetings, it's really important that you are able to participate in those. If you don't have a device, we can check you one out. So what does instruction look like? School's PLP will be the platform used for all content, and this also does include related arts. And you have a variety of embedded instructional supports at your fingertips in every lesson. So that includes literacy, fluency, scaffolds. You have everything you need on that program along with your ARCOLA teacher. So if your child receives a paper packet, we will not be delivering those. So you must pick those up. You must pick those up at school for the week. So if you are a virtual student and you receive a paper packet, you have to pick those up. Who will be my teacher? So all virtual students are assigned an Arcola teacher. You'll check your email for various updates from those teachers. Some of them are utilizing Google Classroom. Some of them are simply relying on email and text through Dojo. So please make sure that you are keeping up with those conversations and you're keeping up with the communication with your Arcola teacher. So your Arcola teacher will be responsible for virtual students, and they'll be responsible for communication. They'll be responsible for grades. And then how will I be graded? They'll be calculated from summative assessments, and the facilitators will monitor those students and their progress through online lessons and quizzes. And then just like in-person classes, you'll have the opportunity to retake lessons, retake quizzes, and test after some remediation has occurred. So what support is offered for families? So teachers will provide individualized supports to meet student needs during established times. So if you're struggling, if your child's struggling, that's okay. Reach out to your virtual teacher and they will get something set up for you. There are technology training videos available on the Round County Schools website. And if you need help accessing those, just call and we will definitely be happy to help you and tell you where those are. Meals, just to reiterate, this would be for virtual students as well. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Those can be picked up at McBrayer Elementary in Tilden Hog from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. And Wednesdays, they're available at all elementary schools and Round County Middle from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. If you're a virtual student, or if your child is a virtual student and they have an IEP, a 504 plan, or any other type of service plan, those will still be honored, even though your child is virtual. Students will be assigned to a teacher facilitator based on the number of students enrolled in Arcola. So if you were in Arcola last semester, then you are already assigned to a facilitator. If you are a new student, you will be assigned to a specific grade level facilitator. Arcola students may attend dances or any functions held by CES or Round County Schools. And if you want to switch from Arcola to in-person, that can only be done at the end of a 9-week period. So questions. The only question so far that we had received was about Chromebooks, if we want those to stay home or if we want those to come back to school. And again, just to reiterate for that, we do encourage that they come back and forth, but that is not a requirement. If you feel like it's a better scenario for your family to leave the Chromebook at home, that's perfectly fine. We will make sure that your child has one here to use. But we do encourage that they do go back and forth. So after this presentation, if you still have questions that weren't answered or that you think of after you've watched this, the CES questions at rowan.kyschools.us is the email that you will need to send your questions to. And when you send to that email, either myself or Ms. Ratliff will get back with you and make sure that your questions are answered. And that, let's see here. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So I think that's all that we have. And again, just to reiterate, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call. Don't hesitate to reach out to your classroom teacher or to your virtual teacher, and we will make sure that you have your answer or we get you an answer to your question. So we are so excited to see our in-person students next week and to continue seeing our virtual students online. So if you have any questions, let us know.